Good morning and welcome in to the Kaplan and Hood Morning Show on ESPN 1000 and streaming on the ESPN Chicago app with David Kaplan and Jonathan Hood with you. Still to come, some thoughts about the Cubs and Sox and everything else MLB with Jesse Rogers at 8:35. But now it's time for Shot or No Shot. It's brought to you by...
That'd be ESPN Bet. It's now live in Illinois, and you can sign up today, and new users get $100 in bonus bets with any sportsbook bet. So much to play. NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, Major League Baseball, golf, lot, and the Derby coming up this week. Say good morning to Shea W. Norland.
Good morning. How are we feeling on a Monday?
Awesome.
Bears Monday.
Awesome.
No,
Victory Monday.
Yeah, I feel great, Cap and Shay. I would ask you, Shay, so how difficult was it for you to get the candle wax off the floor? After all those days of burning your candles for the number 3 pick in the draft, how difficult was that task?
It was a lot of scraping, but that's all right. It was worth it. It's all worth it in the end.
I don't know if I should ask you at 18 or now. Are you happy with the Patriots draft?
Yes. The answer is yes.
All the way throughout?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smiling ear to ear.
Do you expect him to start as a rookie?
Yes.
Day one?
Yep. Might not, but I would like him to.
All the praise about Belichick working with Pat McAfee, by the way. Little 50-50 salt on the Patriots, by the way, in his analysis.
Yes.
Oh, well, what a surprise.
Yeah.
Wide receiver wasn't on his team needs.
A little 50-50 salt. Was not necessarily pleased by what the Patriots did in the draft.
He wasn't a huge Drake mega. He said he got footwork issues, and yeah.
So, I mean, that's fine.
We can get to it around the NFL, but what do I care about what he thinks about anybody's draft? He was horrible at drafts.
That is correct.
Horrible.
I just thought it was an interesting talking point because it's your team and he's no longer the head coach. And he just got through being fired or just amicable
Cast
parting.
aside.
Whatever it was.
Cast asunder.
His thoughts was interesting. As we go to Shea Norling with Shot or No Shot.
They should have given him a one-way ticket to the bottom of the ocean, to be frank. He was doing a terrible job. All right, let's get started with Shot or No Shot. NFL.com graded all 32 drafts in the league. Bears ranked very close to top marks with an A-. That is the highest grade in the NFC North. The Lions and Packers both got Bs, and the Vikings got a B+ for their work in the draft. Shot or No Shot, the Bears have the brightest future in the NFC North.
That's a shot. Absolute shot. Detroit doesn't have their quarterback signed yet, and they're not. I'm not saying they're not going to sign him, but Jared Goff is not like at the top of the food chain. He's a good player, very good. Chicago absolutely has the brightest future.
Yeah, and that's a shot. You know why it's a shot? Because you're starting from the bottom.
Yeah.
So you have no other choice but to, if you can, draft well, get quality free agents, and dig yourself out of the basement.
Correct.
So, I mean, the Detroit Lions are a ready-made team. I know we just heard from a Packer fan. And by the way, for some Packers fans, the rivalry is not Bears-Packers, it's Bears-Lions. Mm-hmm. In some ways, I'm like, sure, it's an old rivalry, the Bears and the Packers, but the Packers are looking at their crosshairs on the Lions because they want that top spot.
Yeah, that's
and
a more
they feel threatened.
recent thing, but
they feel threatened.
Having spent a lot of time every summer in Wisconsin, they actually think their biggest rival is the Vikings.
It's interesting.
Yeah, like that's the one that, because they look at the Bears as the freaking nail. About to change, folks.
Yes. So, no question they had the brightest future. Lions are already made. The Packers with Jordan Love. They went through a seamless transition from Favre to Rodgers to Love. Oh, man.
Yep.
Looks like it, right?
Here we go.
So that's why I would say that it's an absolute shot. The future is right there. It's in front of you when you're the Chicago Bears.
That is correct.
Shay?
All right, we also have further results officially on the trade last year to send the number 1 pick to Carolina. The Bears sent the number 1 pick to the Panthers. They got Bryce Young. In return, the Bears have now gotten DJ Moore, Darnell Wright, Tyreek Stevenson, Caleb Williams, plus a 2nd-round pick next year. Shot or no shot, this is the single best trade in Chicago sports history.
Wow. That's a no shot, but no.
Hold on a second. Give me the candidates.
Well, it's certainly not that.
The trade for Arrieta, he helped lead to a World Series, is a great trade.
Yep.
No question about it.
One of the linchpins to something that you never thought you'd see.
Correct. That was an amazing, amazing trade. What else would be a...
All right, let's operate under a set because I get you don't want to do it the day of, and personally, I think it's one of the greatest in Chicago sports history. I think it might be one of the greatest in NFL history. So how could it not be?
Yeah, I can. If this plays out like we think it will, it could be the greatest trade in Chicago sports history.
It might not even be close. If Caleb is 70% of what we expect him to be, it's the greatest trade in Chicago sports history.
Right.
It's insane when you think about they got DJ Moore as a Pro Bowl receiver, 1,000-yard player, Tyreek Stevenson, who started playing like that level of corner at the end of last year. You got Darnell Wright, who looks like a potential all-pro on your offensive line. Caleb Williams, the greatest quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck, and you still have a second-round pick next year. That's got to be top 2 in the history of this town.
Right.
It's insane.
Now, like Hoodie said, the Arrieta trade has already paid dividends because you got a ring on your finger.
That's exactly right.
Now, the day that Caleb Williams leads you to a Super Bowl championship, yeah, that will probably move into the top spot. Certainly, it's a stock you'd want to buy right now.
No, there's no question about that. I would say no shot at this point in time because, again, I mean, the hope is that we can consider that, but not at this point in time. No, I would say that's a no shot. Shay.
All right, some changes coming to Hard Knocks. I've heard a lot about this the last few weeks, that the Bears should be open to taking on Hard Knocks with Caleb Williams in the building, with Roma Dunze, with the NFL seemingly centering around the Chicago Bears. But a change that I haven't heard a lot of people talking about was announced last month that Hard Knocks will feature entire divisions instead of just one team. There is not a more interesting division in this sport than the NFC North, with the Lions trying to go back to the NFC title game and avenge a loss, the Packers and Jordan Love, Minnesota with J.J. McCarthy, and certainly the Bears, who have been the center of football the past few months. Shot or no shot, the NFC North needs to be on Hard Knocks.
Boy.
That's a no shot. I'll ask this, Cap. Why is there a need, not for everybody, but for some, for the Bears to be on Hard Knocks? Why is there a need? Like, we have you and I, and everyone that watches the Bears very closely has as much access as possible when this comes to the Chicago Bears. Like, they already have national acclaim. Is that the end-all, be-all, really, in 2024, to be able to be on Hard Knocks?
It gives you an inside look in a different way that we don't get. The Bears have not been the best. Let's be fair here. They have not been the best in media access. They just haven't. And to see the way they did it on Friday when Caleb came in with Roma Dunze, they sat down and met the media, pulled up a chair before the press conference. Hey, I'm Caleb. Hey, I'm Courtney Cronin. I'm Brad Biggs. I'm Dan Weeder, whoever it was. And they all sat around and just got to know each other. Then they started the press conference. It's just, I think it's going to be operated differently going forward. And if you get them on Hard Knocks with cameras in places we haven't seen, I think it'd be super freaking cool. I'm all in, and I absolutely think that division should be the choice. Or the Bears, if they don't go the divisional route.
I mean, the only reason why that there should be excitement about the Bears being on Hard Knocks is because we haven't seen it before, the novelty of it. Mm-hmm. Like, because we know the McCaskies didn't want to have that kind of access, and now you have a team that many people are interested in. I get that. But for me, I don't understand why that it has to be a must here in the offseason. You got to have them on Hard Knocks. Why? Because you know what I care about? The playoffs, the Super Bowl, a championship, a parade. Hard Knocks is in there someplace in the top 10, but not even in my top 5. I don't know. I mean, as far as access, maybe because I'm too close to it, and I can just walk up to house, Jonathan Hood, Kaplan J. Hood, open the gates. Maybe that's the reason. But the point is, like, for me, it's like the Bears already have a claim. So I don't know why that's it has to be a must for a Bears fan.
Yeah, for me it is. I want to see it. I absolutely want to see.
What are you going to see that you don't already know?
Oh, I think you're going to see a ton. Access that we've never seen before. Guys in a away from the football field way that we haven't gotten. Now, again, we haven't been very good, so the stories haven't been that compelling. But to tell it in that way with, who is it, Liev Schreiber, who's the narrator,
yeah.
like, Like the whole deal, man. I want that.
But you already had that access. They're in local restaurants in which you live. You just go open the door. Oh, there it is. It's Caleb Williams having lunch.
Yeah, but I don't
cameras.
But even if he's sitting there next to me at Chicago Cut,
yeah,
that isn't. I'm not getting the backstage story. It's like, hey, Caleb. Hey, how you doing, Cap? That doesn't give me what I think I'm going to get out of that show. I'm excited. I want it desperately.
Shay.
All right, the White Sox and Bulls both might be going the wrong direction, but stars seem to be aligning for the rest of town. Bears had Caleb Williams in the draft, obviously, Roma Dunze, the rest of this draft and all of the positivity. The Hawks with Bedard and another high pick sure to come in this draft lottery. Cubs continue weathering some injuries by simply winning games with their young players. I know they lost 2 or 3 to Boston, but 17-11 on the season. Hot start with their young talent. Sky have Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso debuting in a couple weeks. Shot or no shot, there has never been a better time to be a Chicago sports fan.
Well, that's a no shot.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point in time, yes, because of the youth. It's what you just laid out, Shay. All of the up-and-coming young players that are going to be here. You laid them all out. But then there's the Jordan era, then there's the Peyton era, then there's all that. So, no, as far as at this point in time, it's been a while since we see all these young players together growing up in Chicago. I think that's special.
Yeah, this is a perfect question for First Take, Shay, but we lived through the 90s with Michael Jordan at the top of the freaking sport, and he's still there as the GOAT. And we won 6 out of 6 championships. At the same time, the Blackhawks in the early 90s went to the Stanley Cup final. The White Sox had the best team in baseball till the strike hit. They might have won the World Series that year. In 1998, Sammy Sosa clubbed 66 home runs, and the Cubs went to the playoffs and won the wild card tiebreaker. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, this is not. Maybe on the field it'll prove to be that way. But
yes.
Right now, no shot, Shay.
Look, man, my point is I'm living in right now, and for me, like, I always get a little concerned. Kids aren't watching sports as much as they used to. This crop of young talent all kind of showing up here at the exact same time might be the magic elixir.
You had to fix what's been broken, but the best time to watch sports, the Bears dominated the 80s. The Cubs went to the playoffs in the 80s. There were some really good things. The Bulls started to turn the corner. Michael got drafted. Pretty amazing stuff. To the late 80s where they couldn't beat the Pistons. Into the 90s, stop yourself.
But what Shay just laid out, though, is, well, if you break it and you start over, you have an opportunity to really kind of reimagine your franchise. Mm-hmm. Look at what you saw about. Like the Sky, they broke up their team. They did. Yeah. They have a championship team, Copper, Candace Park. Okay, we'll just move on. They are resetting their franchise, the Sky. With the Blackhawks with Bedard, fantastic. A fantastic young phenom that's on this hockey club. And then where the Cubs are, where the Bears are right now, I mean, I understand Shay's point because you hope that they all can be able to grow up together and be all at a championship level together.
Correct.
And this is where we're talking about players that are 25 and younger. That's why you could be optimistic, for sure.
Correct.
And by the way, shout out to the Sky. By the way, I understand that the WNBA doesn't resonate with everybody in the city, but when you bring in someone like Angel Reese, you might want to make her feel special and make your organization feel big. You see her walk into a pretty much empty gym. That's how she was introduced, Cap. It's on social. People have been killing them all weekend about comparing that to the Indiana Fever or some of the other top draft picks where there's personnel and there's people applauding and there's, fireworks and all this other stuff. And then here comes Angel Reese just walking into an empty gym with 5 reporters. No pomp and circumstance, no music, no little kids. What a great opportunity for little young girls to be able to be there to applaud a hero that's coming in Angel Reese.
That's an organizational fail.
This guy, listen, an organization that needs some wins. I'm not talking about on the court. I'm talking about from a PR standpoint. Do better. Be better than that.
Let me ask you a question.
That's brutal. You would have done much better. It would have been fireworks if you were running the organization. If you just wouldn't walk into an empty gym with no fanfare.
Correct. But let me ask you a question. You've been in this town a long time. Yep. So have I. Shay, you're the EP of the show. Have Jay Moore. Have any of you gotten a call from the sky? Hey, we'd like to bring Angel Reese by. Hey, Camila Cardozo and Angel are going to make a little tour. You want to have them? Have you gotten a call? I haven't.
Jay Moore? Nope.
I haven't seen an email either.
Nope. See?
That's my point.
You listen, look around the sports landscape. If you're the Sky, you want to be better than, not less than.
Correct.
Or the same as.
Correct.
I mean, you have 2 stars. It's not 1, 2 stars.
You're telling me if they called Danny and said, hey, we'd like to bring these 2 young ladies by the station, we wouldn't do that? Of course we would.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is nothing against the team as far as the players. It's just the infrastructure there. I mean, stop treating it like it's just like lower-level college. I mean, there's tickets that are being sold up the wazoo just to see the Sky. I mean, the season ticket base has gone up. The people that are going to be flying in or coming in to see Angel Reese and the
Camila Cardozo.
and Cardozo, it's been tremendous. A major increase in tickets, and that's how you treat them? Be better. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, be better than that.